Hello, Cancer. Thank you so much, as always, you guys, for being here. Okay, Cancer, so beautiful, beautiful cards coming through looking at your last week of November. You pulled Call for Help, Gratitude, and Unconditional Love. So there's a couple of different ways that this may be showing up in your life. But Call for Help, this actually talks about needing to work with protection techniques. But because there's this like reaching out, it may be that you are reaching out to somebody to help protect you, or they're reaching out to you. Either way, with gratitude, unconditional love shows up again. This one says, I'm so glad you are in my life. And it talks about unconditional love towards self and others, friendship. And it's also about admiring somebody. So there could very much be a situation where you may be reaching out for help and you have somebody who loves you, you love them very much. But there's this kind of like, and I hate saying it this way, but it feels like a lesson in unconditional love. So I just want to read part of this. So there's, a little bit of an understanding where some of this may be coming from. Unconditional love says, continuing to love someone no matter what may be difficult. However, love is always worthwhile. You are made up of love 100%. This is the truth of your very being. No matter how upset you are, how much you beat yourself up, or unknowingly hurt other people, you will always have love residing in you. And it talks about how your heart is seeking love at every moment. So, and it talks about the power of unconditional love. Looking at it with Call for Help, I think that for some of you, this literally could be reaching out to somebody who cares about you very, very much and wants to help protect you from negative energy, right? So if you've been in a difficult situation and you feel like, it's hard for you to let go of the hurt that you've experienced, it may be through somebody else that you kind of get pushed into this feeling of unconditional love. And almost actually being thankful for somebody being in your life and causing you so much pain because it's shifting your entire experience, right? Now, like I said, the other part of this, though, for you, it may be that somebody unexpected is coming through and there's this feeling of unconditional love and gratitude for the help that somebody may be giving you. Or this could be somebody reaching out to you. But either way, it kind of has this feeling of being able to let go of whatever may have happened between you and another person. Now, for some of you, though, this could absolutely be somebody coming through and creating this kind of unconditional love where this may be the beginning of a new relationship or the strengthening of one. Could be romantic, right? But friendship seems to be important here. And it really does feel like somebody's coming through kind of pushing you away from the negative energy that might like disrupt you or take you down, right? And I say that because there's a big emphasis on the high vibrational energy of unconditional love, right? Cancer, you're overall the high priestess. Okay, so right? But you may be being silent or keeping things to yourself. And it's interesting looking at Call for Help. But this is also trusting your intuition and trusting what it is telling you about a situation. Right? There's no need for action with her. This is about observing what is going on. So we'll see how she's playing out. Wow, in the past, the Hierophant. Okay, so a couple of things with the Hierophant. We could be talking about a deeper spiritual understanding of the changes you've been through. We could be talking about conformity or commitments. The Hierophant very much is, there is a way of doing things. And it may be with the High Priestess that you feel like something has changed in a commitment, whether you've made that with another person or with yourself. But this is like, you know, conforming. And then with the high priestess, it's like not necessarily rejecting that, but understanding that there's more deeper truths, deeper understandings. But the Hierophant, geez, death. Okay, so all majors already. So you got Taurus and Scorpio showing up. Death in the present moment. And, you know, again, going back to this feeling with the Hierophant and looking at the high priestess, I think that intuitively some of you are beginning to understand that the way things are done maybe doesn't work for you anymore, because by following, you know, a certain tradition or a set path or set, like, rule set, with death, it's like, no, that doesn't work anymore, and there's a part of you that's changing. So you may be ending a commitment, but this is, you know, really deep, deep transformation that's coming through an awareness that's within you. Now, this may be some information that you weren't aware of that is becoming available to you, but in the present moment, it's causing this type of ending that is going to change you on a deep level, right? So with this death card, it says life is not taken, only changed. But you go from like this set way of doing things, this commitment, this conformity, to no, we can't do that anymore. And you completely change. Okay, future conditions, the Five of Cups. Now, you know, whatever is going on in the present moment that's coming to an end for you, you know, first of all, with death, it's meant to help you rise above whatever it is that you've been dealing with. And with the Five of Cups, though, there's like the lingering disappointment and depression and sadness. And with the High Priestess, right, this may be you keeping it to yourself, but there's also this very deep spiritual understanding of what you just experienced. The problem is it's led to disappointment. But this is like the transitional phase here before you see the full transformation, right? But there's like this strong set way of how something should have been done in this commitment that you made. And then there's this ending that happens that's leading to this kind of like disappointment. But for you, with the High Priestess being the overall, it's like all the questions of why, I think, are going to be answered for you. And it may open the door, you know, for you to do healing, but you may be doing it privately. But it's huge. I just feel like this is a lingering effect of what's coming to an end in the present. Your best path to follow, the Eight of Swords. And, you know, this may be what is blocking you from gaining a deeper spiritual awareness of the experience that you're going through. So with the Eight of Swords, it's like your thoughts are blocked. You can only see the situation in one way. And it's not that there's a need for a different perspective. It's a need to let go of the painful thoughts that have been keeping you trapped. And I say that because of the Five of Cups, right? Now, for some of you, you may literally feel like you're stuck in a situation. And with this, it's like you don't see a way out, but there is, right? But it's in. With the High Priestess, which is interesting because it kind of has like a hermit type of feel. But this is more about, I think, a deeper spiritual connection for you with your higher self because of what you're going through, because this is a huge thing. But this is your advice, I would say. Be careful about how your thoughts are keeping you stuck, because it may be that it's not about seeing it in a different perspective, but letting it go, especially if it continues to cause you emotional pain, right? in your environment, the Five of Pentacles, and that is what needs to be over with. And it's interesting to me seeing this showing up with call for help, because call for help talks about admitting your needs. Well, you're not having your needs met here with the Five of Pentacles, right? Feeling rejected, cast out. I don't have what I need. And with a death, that's you're done with that. But there may be this kind of like inward reflection that's happening that may like bring up these questions of why. Like, why did I experience this? What was the purpose of this experience in my spiritual growth, right? And again, I say that because of the Five of Cups being here in future conditions. It's not so much that you're going to experience something that's going to let you down. It's about what comes to an end. But we're done. We're done with feeling rejected and not having our needs met. You know, and I look back at the Oracle cards and think there was this very strong feeling of somebody possibly unexpected coming through. And that may help facilitate this feeling of unconditional love and a newer understanding of what you may have experienced that may have caused you to like think very negatively about you, and not just the situation, but you know how you've seen yourself within it. But this is done. We're done with the feeling empty-handed, not having our needs met, right? Your hopes and your fears, the Page of Wands. So, you know, hoping for a better experience, possibly some exciting communication coming through, something that you may have been waiting for. But some of you may just be, you know, hoping that for you, this is a chance to experience something different than this. But absolutely, some of you could be waiting for, you know, some kind of communication that opens the door to optimism again. You know, and here's this person, right? The problem is if you're trying to manifest somebody to come in and replace, you know, these feelings of pain and rejection, right? That may be what is blocking you here with the Eight of Swords. So, you know, it's like, I'm hoping for this, but I'm in a shitty place. It's almost like a warning that you might reflect something similar back to yourself. But again, for some of you, this is something else coming through here that's going to create excitement, passion, and optimism again. You know, and this may be what you've been waiting for, though, too. But this is coming out of a really big change that's going to be happening within you because of what you've experienced. And then coming out, the Queen of Pentacles, very nice. So self-reliant, right? Not needing to be dependent on anybody else. Now, absolutely, this could be somebody coming through that may be helping to kind of guide you into that place where you're no longer dependent on, you know, these painful emotions. Because I feel like this is how you define the situation that you were in, right? But I like her. For you, I think it's feeling more grounded. Yeah, Nine of Wands. The Moon. And then you have the Six of Swords. Finding it within yourself, I think, to, you know, move on and to move away from this. Or at least the painful emotions that are surrounding this. So it's interesting looking at the Hierophant and the Nine of Wands. Immediately for me, I get the feeling of, this is how things were supposed to go. Why did they change? And with the Nine of Wands, it's like, I don't want to let anything in that's going to change this. Now, for some of you, because of the commitment that you made and then things coming to an end, you know, you may have been in this place where you've dealt with a really difficult relationship or situation that left you needing to protect yourself, right? But then with the moon here, there's this kind of like confusion and not understanding why things, ended up the way that they did, because there's such a strong like conformity and commitment like kicking this off. Now, for some of you, you may be moving into a place though too with the Queen of Pentacles, and we're talking about self-reliance and independence. I'm not making those kind of commitments anymore, right? You're listening to your higher self here. But the moon, death, and the Five of Pentacles, this is almost like having to face the things that you feared the most in this situation, and kind of bringing those things that were in the dark to light, especially things that you may have been feeling and suppressing. And, looking at the Five of Cups and Six of Swords, again, it's like this lingering disappointment over not having your needs met when you made such a strong commitment coming through. And it's like dealing with this, but dealing with it on your own in such a way to help you move into a more calmer situation. But I don't think that you're alone. Like, I feel like you're trying to deal with this the best way that you can on your own. But this, to me, I feel like is something else coming through. If this is what you're trying to manifest, be careful about, kind of the underlying foundation of what you're dealing with here. Like, I feel like these are the things that need to be brought to light in order for you to move into that place of unconditional love, not just for yourself, but for others. And then in that way, something much better may be coming through and being reflected back to you. But this very much has a feeling of kind of like, yeah, I keep it to myself and what I'm dealing with. But this event was big enough to change you. But you're rising up, right? You're rising up out of the ashes of this. Trust. And that may be hard to do, right? Expansion, and to me, this is like trusting that after this, the expansion that happens in your life is, meant to lead you where you belong. It's almost like, Cancer, you needed to see the situation this way before things could start expanding and moving into a different direction. And then teach. So there's something about this and how big of a transformation this situation is in your life that you may gain some information that will be, very important to other people. And through teaching from your experience, there may be this expansion of new people in your life too. But trust can be hard, right? Vast vistas, expand your horizons. And then you have protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. Beautiful. It's a beautiful reading. It's a huge transformation that's happening for you. And I think for some of you, this is coming out of a really major part in your life where things were not meant to change, but they may have. And I don't think it was, because of you or anything that you did, because you're the one that's experiencing this lack and not having needs met, right? But I feel like there's going to be a feeling of a lot of things that were suppressed within you that are going to be coming out in a way where with the Queen of Pentacles, again, there's going to be like this independence and self-reliance, but it's meant for growth and realistic and practical growth for you. But moving on from the emotional pain is going to be important, and you're not alone.